Okay, let me get it started. Let me go on script this time. Welcome to Post speaking his mind about boxing video games. We don't sugarcoat, we speak truth for real boxing fans. Today's topic, the industry obsession with being stuck in the past and why they keep lying about realistic boxing games not selling. For years now, developers and publishers have pushed the same tired narrative. Realistic boxing games won't sell. But here's the problem, there's no proof of that. None. You can't say something won't work when you haven't even tried it. There hasn't been a fully realistic boxing game ever. And no, Fight Night Champion doesn't count. That was a hybrid. It leaned heavy into arcade mechanics, because like sledgehammers, stamina that barely mattered, and combos that belong in a fighting game, not ring. The bait and switch called Undisputed. Now let's talk about Undisputed because this is where things went from hopeful to heartbreaking. When it was announced, fans saw something we've been waiting for: realistic footwork, boxer traits, defensive tactics, ring control mechanics. It looked like we were finally getting a realistic simulation, something that treated the sport with dignity. But then something changed. The updates got more arcade, the gameplay lost depth, defensive mechanics gutted, fatigue system inconsistent, and rumors start flying. They're already looking at a sequel before the core game is even finished. Indie in name, EA in spirit. And here's the real thing, Sting. Undisputed came from an indie studio, but it's acting like EA. Let's keep it real. Hype features that don't show up, bugs and balance issues from day one, no no referee, no clinching, no real ring generalship, ignoring the community core requests, and prioritizing flash over fundamentals. You know who that sounds like? EA Sports. Except this time it's wearing an indie label. We aren't asking for arcade, and here's what boxing fans want: not flash, not gimmicks, not highlight reels. We want the sport, the real thing. We're talking real stamina management, real defensive movements, slit rolls, parries, real punch impact based on position and timing, real corner work, real referee involvement, real styles like slick boxers, pressure fighters, counter punchers, real traits and tendencies that reflect the boxer's mindset. It's not a wish list, it's what boxing actually is. And not boxing games has ever delivered that, and no boxing game has ever delivered that fully. The market is there. And here's the part the industry ignores the most: there is a market for a realistic boxing game. Like, look at NBA 2K, look at FIFA, look at MLB The Show. Fans invested because the games mirrored the sport. Boxing fans are starving for that kind of respect. Offline modes with death, career path, legacy building, trainer dynamics. They sell when you make them right. People still playing Fight Night Champion over a decade later. That wasn't even realistic. Imagine if something actually did it right. The truth is, realism isn't a risk, it's the remedy. One disputed promise in the beginning, that's what boxing fans want. That's why we were excited. We didn't ask for another online brawler. We didn't ask for arcade balancing. We asked for boxing. And it's time for developers and investors to stop pretending they don't know better because they do. They just don't want to do the work. Now, let me see. I was reading off a script. Now, I'm going to get back to who I am. Now, it's annoying that Undisputed is taking so long to get things together, and they keep talking, and I keep it's keep being rumors that they're already thinking about Undisputed 2. I see some of their hires, they have Unreal Engine as a requirement. And it's like it's annoying. People spun their money for a game that they did not get. Even though you have a couple of people that are fighter fans and arcade fighting fans, they keep trying to drown us out. The people that want a boxing game, my thing is you have your game. Let us have our game. It's okay you come and play the game that we want, but stop trying to make it a fighting game. Stop trying to make it an arcade fighter. We don't want that. Options are something I always, I'm big on options. If there's an option for arcade, okay. Both of us could be satisfied. Stop trying to push the default realistic fans out because we're not going to play an arcade game. We don't want it. That's why Fight Night Champion fell. Fans got tired of the same old arcadey things over and over again. I literally always used to talk to the developers of Fight Night. I used to always tell them fans don't want that. Even did interviews on a podcast with a friend of mine, Indigo 72, Anthony. He's like a brother to me. And PR guy. He's from Puerto Rico, but he was an avid Fight Night fan. He wanted a realistic game. He was trying to make the community bigger. My thing is, I'm a community guy. If they make an arcade game, not if they have arcade options, okay. It's an arcade option. But stop trying to force arcade down boxing fans' neck. NBA 2K is making basketball fans out of their players, their fans, because they have realistic things in it. MLB has a realistic mechanics in it. All these games have realistic mechanics in their fan base. The ones that come on that never played these games or they was casual, they became hardcore basketball fans. Just like a post I made. A lot of the old boxing games, they made a lot of people become boxers or even try boxing. Nobody wants to try boxing because of the way Undisputed is made. It's like you're saying you want to listen for feedback and you want to listen to the fan base, but you ignoring the fan base. You listening, but you're not listening. To you, it's just making that wah 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 sound to you. Y'all really don't care. And a lot of y'all keep saying, "Oh, you an old man. You don't know what you want." I'm an old man, and I'm not. I'm middle aged. I'm not old. I'm middle aged. But listen, I know what I want. I've been through a lot of literally all the boxing games that was ever made. I lived through them eras. I know what I want. And I've been pushing my narrative for decades. I want a realistic boxing game. Fans want realistic boxing games. I know fans that stopped playing certain games because it was too arcadey for them. I went on a site, it's called Title Bout Boxing, and it 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 has a lot of what would you call it? They're fans of a tech sim game, but they said they would play a boxing game if it was realistic. They're older crowd, like in their some of them like late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They're that's money. That's money from a fan base that you want. And my thing is, why are you pushing out a fan base? It's a lot of games that's being made that fans gonna gravitate to, especially the casual fans. Casual fans do not stay playing a game for a long time. When the next hot game or the next game everybody's talking about comes out, that's what they're going to. The hardcore fans, they stay and play boxing. They play the boxing game. We have to be proactive about getting a realistic boxing game, or at least have it as an option. It should be the default. And I don't know who's in control. I don't know if Ash in control or he got other people that's in control of the development of the game. But it has to be options, and stop forcing a certain style or certain mode on people. It's like you made promises that you're not keeping. And it's like no matter how much people keep telling you what they want, it could be one or two people that want an arcade game and you go gravitate to them. Undisputed did not sell because of the arcade that you tricked us with after the fact. The game sold off of the trailers that you presented to us that looked it realistic, and it looked it beautiful. But it looked it realistic and had a lot of boxing mechanics in it. That's what the game sold off of. You have to listen to everybody, but still the hardcore fans are going to buy your DLC. They're going to support microtransactions and all that. Only if the game is realistic. You know, I keep repeating this, but it's true. You gotta give us more. Don't give up on this game and leave us out there because we spun our money. You know, it's just it gets sad. I was looking for some. I was supposed to have some special guests, some developers, and a lot of developers they're scared to even they're looking for jobs, and they're focusing on make sure their products get out there. You know, my heart goes out to those that lost their jobs. And speaking about those that lost their job, we had a community manager, Steve, and I like the way that he was working in the Discord. You know, a lot of people don't. but I like the way he was working on the Discord. He was making noise. He was making movement, no matter what you say. Oh, what's good, my brother? Glad you came. Yeah, Steve was in the Discord. He was doing a lot of things. A lot of people don't want to give him credit for, even though I give him a hard time. But he was doing a lot of things. He was making noise because the Discord was dead. It literally was dead. No movement. He made it like so that there were discussions in the Discord. Me and him went back and forth with a lot of different things, but Steve was good. I don't know what he said or what he did. They said it was something major, you know, and I just I'm like, Dad, at least give him a chance. Be like, all right, you wanna we're gonna give you a chance, but you're gonna be on probation, something like that. Tell him to erase all his past history that will link him to the company. He was doing a great job. I was excited. I was back in there. I was excited. He was saying different things. He was like, he was going, whatever we want or say, he's going to take it to the developers. And he was straight up with us when they said something couldn't be added, which I know why it couldn't be added. It couldn't be added because y'all was saving it for another game. No matter what they're saying, that's what I get from it because it was just tune-ups that needed to be done. I see people working on indie games that's really indie companies or barely an indie company working on boxing games, and they got the clinch in it, they got the referee in it, and you got a whole team that with 100 developers or nearly 100 developers, and you can't get these things done. And it seemed like it's just a marketing ploy. So you could say, all right, when you get the new game, you'd be like, I mean, when it's like Undisputed 2, you'd be like, look what we got. We got the referee in the ring. We got Clinton in the ring. We got this, we got that. No, we want people paid 65 and 70 and more dollars on this game and the DLC. You got to give us more. Usually a part two usually be a tune-up or you add certain things to it. You tune up certain things that was working good, but you add a little more flair to it, a little more to it. It's just getting annoying that you're getting rid of, because even I was talking to I hope he don't get mad at me for I'm not gonna say his name, but he was saying that they just was there's a lot of chaos in the community. I mean the office. And I don't think a lot of them was agreeing on certain things. It might have been some developers that actually wanted a realistic game. Let me see. Yeah, it's a lot of things. I'm like, when they ask stuff, it's like they like mess up something. It's like, and it's annoying when I hear people keep saying, "I want more boxers. I want more boxers." No, let them get the boxing mechanics and stuff together, and then let them add more boxers. Stop asking for more boxers. That's a distraction. I know they need the money because they sold the game and it's not going to constantly sell because people, that million means a lot. That million people that bought it, but I think it's just going to start dwindling down and they have to sell DLC. And yeah, stop asking for more boxes because the boxers don't really fight like themselves. They might give you a couple of boxers, like one or two boxers that fight similar to themselves, but they don't have the realistic traits or tendencies of that boxer, the mannerisms, just little things, just enough to catch your eye. But as a boxing fan, it gets annoying that the boxer is not acting the way he should be. Exactly. If you selling DLC, you have to have their style should be 100% representing them. It definitely should be representing you selling them. You can't sell somebody a boxer that fights like every other boxer in the game. That ain't what people when they heard of a boxing game, their first thoughts is I'm gonna be able to play as my favorite boxer. No, not as your favorite boxer name. Your favorite, their favorite boxer, his styles and everything, his mannerism, all of that. You got to do like 2K. I look at a basketball player, I say, oh, that's his style, that's his mannerism. And baseball, that's his style, that's his mannerism. Then we get the undisputed. We trying to figure out, is he fighting like the last guy for it, or you keep fighting? It's like you fighting a mirror image without it actually looking like the boxer you're using. It's just like it gets like very annoying and frustrating for people. Like people get mad at me for expressing myself. They say, "Oh, you just being negative and you're complaining." Money is involved. Still, City didn't give. Well, they did give me a game, but I still bought DLC and other things. Money is involved. I even gave away CDs. I mean, well, the game on Steam. But people keep defending Still City. You defending them is not going to make the game better. It really isn't going to make the game better. Defending a company, when you get on them, it makes them move better. It makes them function better. It makes them want to make sure they please the customers. We should be able to create our own fighters, homes, jabs, and so on. Yeah, they leaving certain things out. So you can't create boxers to replicate your the boxer that you want. I know that's a EA thing too, because they figure if you can make the boxer, how we gonna sell DLC? How are we gonna make money to keep funding the company? That's how they thinking. That's an EA move. Because with EA, if you notice, when you create certain boxers, their face has that ashy white film on it because they don't want the boxers to look realistic. And with EA, they weren't trying to give you the boxers you was asking for, because a lot of boxers wanted to be in EA Fight Night, but they were turned down. It's like it's like I want to see how tomorrow how they're going to function now that Steve is gone. Is they going to pick up where he left off? Are they going to be more into the community than they were? Because it's developers that used to come into the community and you just see their name, no interaction or anything. Varys to me, like he probably talk once a week or just say something, random. Steve was more interactive. If he said something like negative toward a people or something like that, I can't defend him. But if it's something that's not major, he should have just got reprimanded and or demerit, something like that, and say, well, this is a strike against you, and you're on probation for a certain amount of time, and let's see how you recover from that. But it's like it just got annoying. Who else supposed to have? It was someone supposed to be in here. He wanted to talk about Steve's and other things. Yeah, like I was saying with the other developer that was from Steel City, he got fired in April. He was dad, what was his job? Give me a second so I can look it up. Yeah, his title was dad, I forget. But he contacted me. He was some like a producer or something. He was let me see. Oh yeah, there you go, right here. He was a technical director. Yeah, he's I think he working at Nintendo. No, he went to Nintendo Academy, Art Academy. Yeah, he was like he was frustrated himself. It's like we should have move sets in the game. We should have see these are things that can be added that you could even if you give us the game fleshed out now and then in Undisputed 2, which I really hate thinking about another game because then you're gonna leave stuff out. But move sets, punch sets, all these different things that you can add in the game after the fact. You know the what else you can add in there? Create a punch. That's something that attract the arcade fans. See, these things that attract the arcade fans, but it attracts the realistic fan because then they could create the boxer they want and they get their style right. They might even, you know, make the boxer better than what Undisputed made it. I hate to say it, and Undisputed probably it's like, nah, we can't do that. But other companies do it. Like NBA 2K. They have a group of guys that make the basketball players better. They give them better styles, make the styles look more realistic. They do so much to make the game look more realistic to them, and they add the things that they feel that's missing in the game. And 2K doesn't have a problem with that. 2K still can sell their microtransactions and stuff. They really do. The fighter stats and trades really do need fixing. I'm still waiting for them to add the tendency sliders. That'll stop a lot of complaining about certain things. And and with the tendency sliders, it helps us create boxers that seem more realistic in the game. And that's another thing. Why did y'all fire Steve's? They saying that Steve left to work on his own game, but it seemed like you fired Steve, or either y'all put too much on him because the over ambition of this game needed more than one developer working on stats and tendencies and stuff like that. You need at least 3 or 4, and it makes things work out faster. I'm like, Dad, they let Steve go. Steve was he's a community guy. It seemed like if anybody in the community, I mean, any of the developers that's the community like, or they're active in the community, it's like they get rid of. So whoever Still City hire next, don't be too friendly. Just keep it professional. No, don't do that because people you want the fan base to like you and they respect you more. Yeah, it's just I want Still City to just be more transparent because they keep throwing that word around, but it's not. They're not being transparent. I think Steve was transparent because he told us, "Well, Clinton's not going to be in the game. Referee's not going to be in the game the way you want to." That's transparent. Instead of us keep walking around blindfolded and don't know what was going on, and that's crazy. Yeah, if it's a political post like 10 years ago, come on now, come on, you ain't had to get rid of them for that. And at least, and the funniest thing, at least fire them on the Monday. Why you wait till Friday to fire them? Yeah, at least wait till Monday. Yeah, it's political. Yeah, gone. You had him work. He been working. I think he said 3 months already. At least he should have been like, "Yo, you on probation now." Because when you hired him, and I don't know how the rules work in the UK, you should have known these things before you hired them. That means the way you're hiring people, your hiring practices is not that not that good because these things, if you're gonna fire them or get rid of them, you should have known before you hired them. I was thinking he got rid of him because somebody said last week or the day before. Why you wait till all these months pass by and then you say, "All right, Steve got to go." Maybe Steve was doing stuff in the office that y'all didn't like. He was moving too fast, or he was, challenging the team in a way that they didn't want. So you had to find something on them to get them out of there. I'm like, what's going on? I don't even see a post for someone to replace him. And my thing is, stop getting these. Even though Steve started doing his research, and I respect that, he started doing his research on boxing. It's some of these developers that's not doing their research on boxing. Stop having arcade fans monitoring and talking for us because their thing is they want arcade over realism or they want a hybrid. To me, hybrid is always leaning toward one, mode. And majority of the times it's arcade. And a lot of these developers and mods okay with that. My thing is give us what we always wanted and give us the mods and the people that help us speak for ourselves. Yeah, there's more to the story for sure. A lot of people keep saying that, but I don't want it because I'm too challenging. My thing is I'm gonna challenge everything. I'm gonna be like Steve to the next level because my thing is I can't bow down to something I don't agree with, and that's the problem. Like even one of the devs, he's telling me the Discord was not your problem. I showed you a post when me and Ash was talking, and I told Ash about that idea. I don't know if him and Aimbot start talking about it later, but I talked to Ash about that. I was giving Ash game about stuff. That's one of the reasons why I recommended Will Kinsler to Ash, hoping that Will would help him get himself going, not making the game EA, which it seemed like it is, like an EA game. But my thing is, I'm gonna be in there arguing with people because there's a lot of people in there that they want me to over explain myself, and they always say, oh, you make everything you do is AI. No, it's not. I'm a writer. I'm an artist. If I use AI, it's to help me clean up my stuff that I already wrote. If I wrote passages of stuff, it's not AI. If I say AI and I put it to the AI to refine it and and check it and stuff, that's my stuff. But people, I know, and it makes it seem like you're literally doing the over analyzing me and stuff on purpose. And I know, and I kind of know why you're doing it, but it's crazy. That's why you'll do great. See, I need to realize constructive criticism is different to having hating on the game. Right? It's like using spell checker. Exactly. It's like people like, oh, come on, post up. That's like, then if you look at my old post, I got a wish list site and a wish list blog. My wish list site has the same structure as the AI site, but I never used the AI when I had my first site. So every time I write something that seems too structured, they say, oh, that's AI, Poe. You can't write AI in here. No, you trying to downplay my contributions to the Discord and the game. Because and me, I read a lot of things on psychology. I went into start talking about fighting games. They loved it. They said, Poe, why you don't play this? Why? Because I'm not a fighting game. I just wanted to see where your minds was at. So it means that he had people that's so in love with fighting games, they trying to make Undisputed a fighting game. Fighting games and boxing games, a boxing game is a sport, are two different things. I use it to fix my grammar mistakes too. Exactly. And I use Grammarly for my mistakes. Because sometimes I think I always got a lot of thoughts on my mind. And sometimes I end up leaving out words, or I might have misspelled something. And then it'll let me know that I just say, oh, Dad, I left that word out, this word out. It shouldn't be like I'm stealing something from somebody. For one, it's my thoughts. No matter how you twist it or not, it's my thoughts. I made it up. You can't just go on Google and type in my articles and stuff and find it from someplace else. Even when I do the artwork, it's art. There's different forms of art. I went to art school. So when I do something AI, it's still my artwork because I'm structuring what I want the AI to do. My son went to art school. He said, he called me Bob. He said, oh, Bob, you use AI? That I was doing that when I was in school. He was going to school to make video games. He was trying to do his father proud, but he got frustrated with the school he went to. Fighting games, you don't need the clinch. Boxing games, you need it. Imagine UFC games without the ground game or the kicks or the clinching. They got clinching in UFC. It's crazy how certain things they just leave out on purpose. People don't realize clinching is a tactic in boxing. clinching is a tactic. The referee in the ring makes more sense than what people say. He shortens the ring because you be like, people running. Referee is in the way. So people ain't going to be able to run that far. Referee going to make sure, you're going to say, keep fighting or something like that. Referees mean a lot in the ring. They could be a tactic for the boxer, or it just adjusts things in the ring. It shortens the ring. People got to stop saying, "Oh, we don't need a referee." But you didn't say. See, you know why people saying they don't need a referee? Because fighting games don't have referees. Seem like that's why you okay with it. Then people say we don't need certain things. Everything they're saying, it seems like it's more leaning toward fighting games stuff. My thing is, like I keep saying, options is the key. If you got options for what you want, good. Stop. It's like you're trying to control the narrative, and no, you don't want us boxing fans to have the game that we want. No, we don't need no other options. Just need arcade mode. That's crazy. Or casual mode. You know, and my thing is Ash need to make another round table himself and speak up for himself. My thing is, if you're being held hostage in your studio, let us know. Well, he could be like, well, the studio and the developers, they feel we should go in this direction. But like, all right, that's the direction you want. Let me personally go start talking to other developers, pushing them to make a game. Because every day I'm getting a developer hitting me in my DMs on LinkedIn telling me I have great ideas and they would love to make a boxing game. And I tell them how they can get funding or how they could get, people to promote it. But people, a lot of people just don't know there are companies that will promote a boxing game. They will give you funding for it. Even when I was helping Round for Round, I was helping them get funding that he didn't really look into. The reason why Round for Round fell, they never had a model. They never had a game model. And Wicked Witch wanted to make the game. They were real professional about it. And he said, why aren't you on the team? I said, I am supposed to be on the team, but to me, I'm not officially on the team. And that makes crazy because I was so passionate about a boxing game. Even with EA, I didn't care about you paying me or anything. I just like boxing. You give me they gave me t-shirts. They gave me free games. They gave me free trips. But my thing was I just wanted the game to be real. Even though when Fight Night Champion came out, I was arguing and saying everything under the roof about the game. And it's bad when they offer to give you the game for free and you turn it down. I turned it down. I didn't want no free game. Why am I going to take a game that it's not what I wanted? And they added stuff from my wish list. The tendencies they have in Fight Night Champion, those are my tendencies. Those are my ideas. It's a lot of ideas I had. And the developer that I'm friends with, he said, they didn't have time constraints. And my thing with Undisputed, and people defend it, 5 years. The game been developed for 5 years. No excuse, 5 years. There have been top-notch games made in 5 years. We got to stop giving them that excuse. They're not an indie game. I say they're a double A game the most. They're not an indie game. They should have rare events like being knocked down, knocked through the ropes. Exactly. And when I saw it was, I think one of the trailers and stuff, I thought, was it a video or something? I think they did show us boxer getting knocked through the ropes. Or am I confusing it with getting knocked over the ropes? But they had, I know EA had that. I know EA had that for Fight Night Round 4. And that should have made it in the game for Fight Night Champion. I was like, oh, sweat, y'all got knocking boxes through the ropes. I was excited. I jumped up, jumped around and everything. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all going the realistic route. That's what I'm talking about. And they took it out. And my thing is, companies like Undisputed got to stop listening to the investors. That's what it asks. You remember when you said, if you get investors, they're going to make you change the game. And you said you didn't want investors because you want this to be your game. He literally said that to me. He said, I don't want investors because I don't want them to change my vision. They changed it. And the first thing they were saying, no, we got developers, but they're not going to change the vision. Yes, they are. They did. They changed the vision. The investors changed the vision. The publisher. And I heard that the publisher, I never knew that the publishers could change the vision too. I didn't know that. But then I got to remember when 2K made a boxing game, they didn't make the boxing game. They were the publisher. They were rushing the developers that were making that game. It was Venom. The company was called Venom. And I talked to the head developer of that game. That's how much I'm a passionate boxing fan. I go out and look and talk to these guys. Be like, can I talk to you? Can, we talk or, I interview or anything like that? And some of them will talk to me. A lot of them be under NDA and they tell you, I can't tell you much. But, this developer was saying 2K was rushing them. He said, we can't make the game we want because they're rushing us. They tried to hurry up and get the game out. I guess they were rushing it out to, what was Fight Night Round 4 was out at that time. They're rushing to get it out to compete with it. But how you going to compete with EA and this fan base with a half-done game? A lot of people like Prize Fighter. I don't. I see the potential in it, and I see what they were going for. And the developer, he really, and I hate that they like EA buys these companies out and then make them disappear instead of saying, all right, y'all got your studio and we're just going to do something else. No, they buy them out and close the studio. Then the company lose their faith in making another game. I think Venom Games, they had, like, by now they would have had a beautiful game. Especially if 2K let them use Visual Concepts to help them with it. Visual Concepts is a great team. A lot of people keep saying 2K. Visual Concept does the majority of the work for 2K, I'm guessing. I'm guessing. But I know what 2K can do. And I'm just I'm it just it's just annoying to me that fans are not, speaking more about certain things. People get mad at me in the Discord because I'm so passionate. They're like, you gotta be patient. You gotta wait. It was I think it was a guy. He's like, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. I gotta wait 5 years. 5 years. I've been waiting. What you talking about? Wait, $70. No, let me see. 3 games. I got three games I gave away, and I got more money in my Steam account. Stop. Stop defending Still City. Still City has grown people on their staff, so stop defending grown people. You know, my thing is find a way to talk to them and see what's going on instead of attacking me. I just want a game before I leave. I don't want to be like be old, literally old. Then you can say I'm old. That because I got gray on me and I'm old. My son is 22 and he has gray hair, so he's not old. But we waited over a decade. Yeah, over a decade. For me, for a realistic game, I waited like 3 to 4. I mean, 4 decades because a lot of people say Fight Night Champion was realistic. No, it wasn't. And they're arguing. They really will argue with me. How are you gonna say Fight Night Champion was realistic when the developers said it wasn't realistic? They said it was a hybrid game. Hybrid means arcade and sim or realistic sim. But it's not either or, it's a mixture. And it leans more towards arcade. It's crazy how people defend things and they argue with it. Even if somebody tell you something and they heard it, they still argue. He don't know what he's talking about. What are you talking about? Yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah, I was like you was talking about me being a community manager or something like that. I wouldn't mind being part of the team in some fashion, but not as a community manager or moderator. Because I know with the moderators, we'll be arguing and stuff. They're be trying to tell me what I could say and stuff. I'm a grown man and I'm older. I'm pretty sure I'm older than all of them. But you know, give me shirts and stuff to go to these amateur fights and promote the game for you. Because y'all, I hate to say it, y'all doing a horrible job. And Seth, I think she should be more active in the marketing. I don't know what when they say marketing, what marketing is really going on. What videos and stuff? What marketing is really going on for Undisputed? Because I see a lot of ways that Undisputed can be marketed better. I really do. Marketing, that's like my thing. I know a lot of y'all be like, oh, Poe don't know anything about business and stuff like that. Yes, I do. I'm a businessman. I make cheesecakes. I make vegan products and stuff. And I know how to market my stuff because I'm an artist too. So I know how to market stuff in the areas that I'm in. So don't tell me I don't know nothing about business. And I hate when people tell you, you don't know nothing about the gaming industry. That because you were sitting on your hands don't mean all these years I haven't been studying and looking at the way things function in the industry. That's why I can have a conversation with developers and stuff. My son was inspired because he know how much I used to try to talk to these developers and get them feedback and let them know certain things. He was inspired and he wanted to go to school for that. And I was like, is that really what you want to do? And he was like, yeah, at the time. He was like, yeah. They got to realize this is a boxing community and we speak a certain way. Exactly. Exactly. It like gets annoying. Because when you in the NBA 2K community, they're talking basketball. When you're in the MLB community, they're talking baseball. When you're in every community, they're talking what the community is about. You don't go on no Fortnite talking about no other games or boxing or basketball or something like that, unless they have a basketball player in there. But still, they still not gonna really talk about that. You're not gonna let me see. You're not gonna go and Tekken and start talking about the fight that happened last night or whatever. Exactly. At this point, why isn't it? Yeah, why isn't it? There's just so much that people. It's like they hired people to silence certain people. Well, you're gonna get people that get in there and start talking about boxing. Try to change the subject. You're gonna people that talk about the fight that happened last night or last week. Change the subject. They're gonna keep saying certain things like that. And I'm like, wow. Like today, I'm shocked. I got a mod to defend me. They don't usually defend me. But there was this guy or girl, they were getting upset because of my opinion, saying I'm a gatekeeper. No, I'm not a gatekeeper. That's because the way I type something or what I say offends you, and and to me, my stuff is not offensive. I'm just asking for things. And if it doesn't agree with what you want, you think I'm attacking you or I'm being unreasonable or negative. No, I'm not being unreasonable or negative. I've been in discourse and forums forever. I used to be a moderator. I'm not trying to put nobody down or be a gatekeeper. If you feel I'm a gatekeeper, that's because that's how you see me. I'm not trying to gatekeep or nothing. But if I was gatekeeping, the game would be the way I was. I mean, I want it to be, and I would be telling you to in a certain way to be quiet. But I'm not. What am I gatekeeping? The game is not what I want. I'm not gatekeeping anything. My thing is, I want all the communities to have a say so in the game. I want them all to speak for what they feel should be in the game. And then they allocate them to the sim part, realistic part, and the arcade part, either or. And let us be able to adjust it to our liking. But stop telling one community to be quiet. That's not what you want. I even have like mods, they got mad at me talking about, oh, I don't think the referee should be in the ring. That's annoying. Because you're a fighting game fan. Like I said before, you're a fighting game fan. Talking about you don't think the referee should be in the ring. What purpose then you're gonna say, what purpose does he serve? That's because you don't know boxing, and I'm not gonna waste my time explaining to you because you already got your mind made up that you don't want the referee in the ring. Then they say you don't want clinching, but you complaining about running and stuff. At least if you clinch the person, you could throw punches on the inside to the body and stuff like that. Unless they find a way to clinch you so you can't punch. But you complain about everything. Oh, he's running. Um, Tell the developers to give you a way to cut off the ring. Referee makes sense. Clinching makes sense. All these things make sense. And we need a corner. We need corner instructions and stuff like that. We need each trainer to feel authentic and realistic. We should hear their voices more clearer out in the audience, out in the crowd, or something like that. It's technology for this stuff. Clinch when you're hurt, exactly. And use the ref to distance yourself from your opponent when you break. Exactly. That's the things what clinching is for. It's a tactic. Exactly. It really is. I seen at times, which I don't really want this in the game, but I seen times that people like Mayweather and other high profile fighters, they go close enough to the referee and push him in his way. I've seen that plenty of times in fights. And it's like you could run but like slide behind the referee to catch your breath or something like that. Especially if you're fighting a slugger. You know, things like that. It's a tactic. You know, the things I just said don't necessarily have to be in the game, but I'm just saying referee in general helps the game seem more realistic. And I seen people complain about the judges. Yeah, need some fine tuning, but like I said, all referees don't judge the same way. You got a referee that's gonna his thing gonna be he probably gonna discuss with the other judges. Um I'm just gonna look at for the clean shots. Then you got the other referee that's gonna say, I'm gonna look at for the better defensive tactics. You got the other referee that's going, probably be overall or something like that. Every referee do not score the fight the same way, unless it's like blatant. When you see some, it's like you can't help but to give them that round. But if it's something like it's a lot of movement and stuff like that, that's how they're going to score it. And that's how refereeing. A lot of people just want everything to be. I tapped them a couple of times with a punch. You could tap a person and he hit you with the same punch, and it's harder. That harder punch is going to score more than that tap punch, that tactic you use. Referee tendencies for how early they can stop a fight and so on. Exactly. And that's one of my wasteless ideas, because some referees have different tendencies to do certain things. Some are more strict than others. Some of them will let you fight until you're bloody to death. And then you got some referees that you hit a person with one or two hard shots and they staggering, they're gonna jump in. Or they got a tendency to jump in. It's stuff like that. It's like you could tell that Steel City and let you clinch and so on. Exactly. You can still tell Steel City they got rid of the boxes in the studio, because it's a lot of things that just start disappearing. It's not fine tuned according to what a box was saying. If I was in Steel City, I wouldn't know. I'd be like, no, that doesn't look right. And I shouldn't have to say it after the fact. If you had these boxers in the studio, they could correct you on the job in real time. They could do all that correcting instead of, after they don't did, then they say, what you think now? Boxer be like, no, that don't look right. Now you're gonna say, well, now the developer's gonna be like, You say it don't look right. Let me go see what the community says. And that's the craziest thing. For a boxing game, and you depending on the community, and the people that you depending on might not really be boxing fans. They just want a competitive game. And you can't really depend on people that's not boxing fans. It's just like you could make a hardcore fan, Mike saying, a hardcore fan out of casual with realistic mechanics in a boxing game. And another thing that I was talking about yesterday in the Discord, stop being so cheap on the fighter slots. We need more slots for boxers. And the fighter shield. What happened to that? That's going to be something that you introduce into Undisputed 2 as a new feature. It's like so many things, like in a base game, you don't have in the game. Things in the base game is not there. Yeah, that should be part of a like in WWE 2K, they got move sets. That should be like a move set, like in WWE. One thing like give us move sets and stuff like that. Stop watering down the game more and more. It's like every day we're losing stuff in the game. And I'm like, do we supposed to get that update this week? I'm not sure. Get some type of update. Um, but I think they gave us a quick fix, and now we supposed to have like a big update, and it better be something major. My thing is they should have gave us the the update with fixes with the new boxers instead of waiting. And I think they couldn't wait because they needed more money, more funding. They running through that. I think they running through that money. Yeah, it's just crazy. I think my partner Leafy, I think he didn't want to be on the show today. I guess the show moved a little too slow for some people. And my thing, I always say, if I got people to talk with and interview and stuff, it makes the show more better. I'm still building. I'm trying to build back up to what I used to have back in the days when I was at EA. The more shows I do, the more people will start coming in and see that I'm serious about it. Because there's been years that people always say, Paul, you should do a YouTube channel. Paul, you should do another podcast. And I was like, nah, because Fight Night disappointed me. But I should have used that as a tool to help get a boxing game earlier. SCI needs to worry about how fast technology is moving and how easy it is for people to make their own game. Exactly. Exactly. AI might just put them out of work soon. When AI does blueprints perfectly, it's over for them. Exactly. Exactly. Cause I be every day I be checking. They give me some scripts and stuff, and Leafy say they work, but more refined scripts and stuff. There's a lot of people gonna be out of work. It's just certain things like animations, like certain animations and stuff, they're gonna do. But coding itself, the coding part, it's gonna be crazy. But I think even the animation part, because when I be asking the AI to create certain characters for me, Even me, the AI creates me. All I gotta do is describe myself down to a T, and it makes me. The only thing that it doesn't do is I don't have a mustache. I always shave my mustache off, and it still give me a mustache. So I gotta go in and do that manually. They might want to start reading your messages and not writing them off as AI. Exactly. That's what I always say. Read it. You might be able to get something from it. I got like I think over 1,000 wish list ideas and stuff. And I'm like, read through them instead of saying, oh, that's AI. Exactly, you can. Because that's what the guy on Round for Round he was doing. He made a photo of Joe McClellan and who else he did? He did a couple of boxers and it looked it okay, but it could have just needed some cleaning up. If I think if I would have did it myself, it'd look better. But he did it, and he was using that as a selling point for round. But and I kept telling him, you gotta have more to it, at least a movement. Avaturn ME website does it, and you export it right into Unreal Engine. Wow. Yeah, because it's a couple of websites that I was seeing because I was trying to make some animations. Because I was trying to make, some cartoons or something, and I don't feel like paying for because I got too many bills as it is. I don't feel like paying for no animation that just do a cartoon. Then they want me to pay for something else and then something else to add to it. So I'm like, not right now. But it's a lot of things that AI is doing, and I see it I'm like they could do this. They could make a boxing game because if they got it so you can make a cartoon or something, that means you can make a video game. And I think it's some type of agreement they probably got. We're going to give y'all a couple of years to get it right, and then we're going to step in. All right. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, because, I'll be always looking for different things. But this is a thing that I had. It was an AI for making cartoons and stuff like that, and it was looking good. Then it told me my sessions for the make because already I had the scripts laid out and everything, how I was gonna have it, and then it said all I could make was that one part, and I was like, oh man, just messed up what I wanted to do. But the more I get into this podcasting and back on YouTube, the more I'm gonna start doing things. I'm trying to partner up with my son, but my son he's like he's not really into boxing as much as I am. You would think that he would be, much as I talk about boxing, but I didn't want to force it on him. I tried to, but he's stubborn just like me. Oh, it is free. I think I remember them saying it was free, but I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, I don't know. Meta human. I think that's gonna cost some money. It was some reason I didn't use it because I was using some program. I was trying to make a Fallout type game, and then it was like getting frustrated to me. So I said, nah. I just keep focused on, I don't want to get myself too off track with certain things. Let's see, Meta. Meta Human Creator is free and it's unbelievable how much detail you can do with it. Unreal Engine is free as well. It is? Wow. I guess that's why Ash is moving over because it wasn't free at first. Yeah, because that's because when I like do research, it was saying that I guess because of the graphics in the first the video they did, it looked like Unreal Engine. And they said, and they always kept saying Undisputed was done in Unreal Engine, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was a monthly subscription. I just I wonder when as them gonna like actually go over to another game. I mean to the next system. They're gonna just let this year go out while they're adding more people to the team for Unreal Engine. And my thing is they're gonna be using people from this team on the other project. So that means everything gonna come out slower instead of faster. And that it's gonna be bad. You're gonna get some people that's really not gonna support the second game, even though a lot of people say, "Yeah, we're gonna support us the next game." You thinking about the next game might take 2 to 3 years to come out, and you think somebody gonna wait 2 to 3 years for a boxing game, and you're gonna be frustrated at what you were given, what you was given with Undisputed, the first one. They gotta really sell. They're gonna have to really market that game. And I'm still like wondering why Ash didn't get help from Turkey Al Sheikh. I'm pretty sure that Turkey Al Sheikh would have funded that game almost unlimited with unlimited money. I'm like pretty kind of sure that that's what would have happened. Because it's like he's all in for this other game that I think it's gonna be arcadey in the look, but it's gonna have boxing mechanics, like realistic boxing mechanics. I'm just hoping that it be more like Victorious Boxers. I'm really hoping that. You see, only 41% of views in the last month have been positive on Steam. It should be 90% positive if they listen to the diehards. Exactly. That's facts. That's facts. You know, it just I think the Japanese game will be super simple. I think so too, because Turkey got to stick to what he wants boxing to be. Turkey, he's putting all these. He want to put all these things in place for boxing to be boxing. So I know Turkey throwing a lot of money at these people. And as he picked these three investors from England. And you know, I'm gonna keep saying it. Ash paid them back. Give them the money they invested so your game could be your game. Self-publish your game or get a publisher that doesn't be in your tell you how to make your game. You know, because it's crazy how you went from I don't want nobody to tell me how to make my game to you just settling just because you have a game. It's like he just satisfied he got a game at this point. Boxing is huge in Japan. Yeah, it is. That's why I was like, for decades I've been trying to reach out to somebody, a developer, and any developers in Japan or Asia to make a boxing game. And it was hard to, like, the communication barrier, even though I was using the translator. It's hard to get anybody to really respond to me, because I know the Asians pay attention to details. I'm starting to now on LinkedIn. I'm starting to get a lot of Asian friends and stuff, So, and a lot of them are developers, or they're in the industry. So that's a great thing right there. Like my LinkedIn is picking up. Like last week, I got, I think, over 10,000 impressions of one of my posts. So that means impressions mean somebody saw it, or it was on their timeline on LinkedIn. So that means I'm getting eyeballs on my campaign or what I'm trying to accomplish, and that's a great thing. You know, I'm just, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this week, how this week is going to run. It's just, I want to see, is we're going to get the update, or they're going to give us a real replacement for Steve, or what? I just want to see what's going on in the Discord. Oh, you never met Steve, but yeah, he had texted me on LinkedIn and told me that he, like, everything's okay, and he likes like what I was saying in Discord. So, kudos to that. And yeah, I was hoping I was gonna get, like, I hate when people tell me they're gonna show up on the show, but I depend on, I could depend on you to show up. You ain't had to, because I know there's a difference in our timelines. You know, where you at and where I'm at, so it's a difference. So I know it's probably like late in the morning or whatever. Yeah, that was crazy. They could have did the research before that. That's why I think it's more to it than what we know. It's more to it. It gotta be, because you didn't do research within them 3 months, and then you wait till you move over here and get, like, really comfortable, because he was watching the community. He said for the first 2 months he was watching the community, see how the community worked and everything, and how the function with the developers and stuff. And it seemed like he was getting too close with the community, and they had to find something to get rid of. It's like, no matter how you twist it, it makes no sense. This man uprooted his life and moved closer to the studio, and then get fired. Like, what, a week later? It's like, soon as he actually moved everything in, he got fired. He took a day off. He took a vacation. I don't see how you get vacation that early. Oh yeah, he had 3 months, but they gave him a vacation time or personal time to move closer, and then after that, boom, you're fired. That's crazy. I'd have kicked the mailbox over or something. No, I ain't violent like that. But that's crazy. And it's a lot of people that take enjoyment that he's no longer there. Like, they really take enjoyment. Somebody trying to get in. Who's this? Who this? Who's this?
Poe Trent.
Who this? Leafy?
Yeah, it's Squeaky.
Oh man, why you coming like full forwarding? I got
I'm sorry.
boxing F,
Sorry.
huh?
I said I'm sorry. I was busy, but I was able to join up now, and I felt like you were still live, so I figured I'd pop in at least. At the very least, pop in and say hi.
You see the chat?
No, I'm on my phone, so I can't
Yeah,
really see like what they're
pull
saying.
up the chat. Boxing F
Wait, how do I pull?
Fernando, huh?
Oh wait, there you go. I might be able to find the chat. There you go. Oh wait.
I could barely hear you like stuttering. Your phone is whatever you're using like going in and out.
Oh, sorry about that. I have bad service here, but I'm on Wi-Fi, so that
Okay,
should
you
help a
know.
little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, boxing,
Yeah, we was talking
boxing.
about well I was Ephes forgive me, Afanado. I can't see. But
Yeah,
boxing, just say
that's
boxing.
good. Yeah, boxing.
Yeah, we're talking about them letting Steve move all the way out here after 3 months, and then they fire him. And I think it's something
Yeah,
more
that
to
was,
what they telling us. What'd you say?
I think it's because I think it's because he's too passionate. Like he talks a lot to the community,
Yeah,
and he tried to
yeah.
like.
It's
I think
some.
he was too open.
Yeah,
He was too open, and they're like, no, we can't have openness. They're scared. They're scared of communication, Poe.
yeah. It's crazy because he was like making the bringing life to the community, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like soon as he fully moved in, they went. It's like somebody he must have had a disagreement in the office with somebody. Somebody didn't like what was going
Yeah.
on, and there's like we got to find something on him. And my
Mm-hmm.
thing is, they could have gave him a warning or told him to take it down or something like that instead of just blatantly firing him.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on over there. If they banned
Yeah,
you in
um,
the past speaking out for boxing games, now they're firing Steve, and he was really like communicative about like stuff. Like if people were having issues, he tried to talk with them, and he'd be like, "Okay, so you don't like this, this, and this, but I see that you are making feedback. I'll bring this over to the team." Maybe he was bringing too much stuff to the team. They're like, no, we don't want that workload. Like it was fine before.
yeah,
It needs to be slower. Maybe Pope or maybe Steve was like, no, I want to help the community, and that's why they fired him because he was like maybe too passionate, way too passionate
yeah,
for them.
yeah. Because he remember he told I told you that he said that they talking about they can't put the referee in and they can't put clinching in.
Yeah,
You had it in the beginning.
yeah,
They had all these things in the game, and I
yeah.
think
They're
they're
just.
trying to save it for undisputed too. As a
I
oh
don't
we
want
got a feature.
undisputed two. I
Me
don't want
neither.
undisputed. Undisputed one doesn't work. If undisputed one doesn't work, why should I buy undisputed two? I'm not giving you my money if your first
Exactly.
game didn't work.
Exactly. Because you like really giving us you thinking about part two. And what's going Ash didn't want a part two. Somebody talked him into having a part two. Ash thing was he was gonna make this game get updated. It was gonna constantly get updated,
Yeah,
like have full blown out updates. like I keep
Hmm.
saying, Warframe. I don't know if any of y'all play Warframe. Yeah,
I've heard
like
of
Boxing
Warframe.
said, he said, why can't they keep updating Undisputed how they said it would be? Exactly. That's a lot of people been saying.
They
You
just
see
want
how
all the money they
and
can get.
yeah, and I think it's not as it's an as thing. I think it's just the people surrounding them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
people
don't think
surrounding
Ash.
them. Like, what'd you say?
I said I don't think Ash even has control over his own game anymore, man. Look at what they've done to Undisputed. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's
It's horrible.
yeah, that's
Not good.
yeah. I was saying this. I was saying the same thing. Like he really can't be in control of his game and the way it is. Just so many
Hmm.
things that's like arcadey. Like that's not what sold
Yeah.
the game. That really is not what sold the game.
Realism
You
killed
see
the
how
game.
people try. Yeah, you see how people be trying to argue with me in the Discord for the stupidest thing, and I was shocked that Cronin he defended me. I was like, what? What's going on here?
This isn't the same Undisputed I know. They're supposed to be against you.
Yeah, and I don't know who that person was. I don't know if it was male, female, but they're like too emotional about people having their own opinion. I don't have to agree with you, and you ain't have to agree with me. That's what a community
Hmm.
is.
Yeah.
You know, we all gonna have different ideas. I would think. Let me see. Boxing said they're adding animations from EA games. As yeah, it seemed like that. The Dempsey leaping left hook is leaping left hook from Knockout 99, Knockout Kings 99, and their knockdowns from Fight Night games is there too. Yeah, exactly. It's so many things you see that's Fight Night like, and people keep
But at
saying,
least Fight Night.
you know,
But at least
just I hear you.
I know. Oh, Fight. I know Fight Night is arcade, but at least that game works. Like at least you could use at least you could punch. At least your punches would land when they collided on the guy.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. It was a complete game, and my thing is, Fight Night was a complete game. Undisputed keeps saying it's not a complete game. So you giving us a half complete game for the money we paid, and you get mad at us for saying something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it makes no sense. I'm trying to figure out. Oh yeah, I was supposed to have guests today, Leafy, and they didn't show up. I got more people on
Huh?
the I had a couple of developers. I was talking to a developer yesterday. He used to work for Steel City, and he said it was a lot of chaos. He said it's like the too many. They like got factions within the office. It's like it's
Wait.
like it's disorganized, and that's bad when you got a
Wow.
disorganized workplace.
Yeah. Because then nothing gets done. Nothing gets done.
Yeah.
Like literally, what
Boxing
happened to this
said they
game?
get
5.
what'd you say?
I said that's what happened to the game. Like nothing was getting done after like beta two. Like when they did beta two, and then somehow it just kind of got ruined. Like beta two was
Yeah,
realistic, and beta was realistic, and then they strayed away from that.
yeah,
Yeah, it makes me upset.
yeah. Yeah, that's facts. Um, and then I heard somebody in Discord say, "Oh, they can't go back on code." They can go back on code. Every company saves old code, so they have
Mhm.
something to reference. They don't just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're gonna get rid of this code." They got all their codes from all the games they made. Um, Boxing said they get to hide behind updates instead of releasing 100% games. They still broken ones. I mean, they sell broken ones, and that's true. They keep trying to hide behind certain words. Indie game, you're not an indie company. You're a double A company. Once you
Yeah.
start, you sell a million copies. You sell a million copies in 1 week. That right there, even the amount of workers you have, you got like over 70 workers. That's past what an indie company is.
Mhm.
Indie companies have smaller development teams, and
Yeah.
70. Let's say it's $70 for every game, and then you factor in the DLC. That's over 100 and something $1 million, if not $200 million. That's a lot of money. That's
No
a
kidding.
lot of money. That's how Ash bought another studio. But why are you buying another studio? Are you pushing out content faster or what? Why are you buying another studio in Las Vegas? And I know the rent there is high. I'm
If they have the
like,
money for
yo,
that, they have money to game better.
what'd you say?
I said if they have the money for that, they surely have the money to make the game better. Like it doesn't make
Exactly.
sense that the game is under subpar, but yet you're putting money into new studios. Like, come on.
Boxing said old games didn't have updates; they were done. That's true.
Yeah.
But modernized games, they can add anything and everything, but they just being lazy. Because my thing is like I always say,
Hmm.
they trying to act like we are dumb. Gaming been around forever. I mean, not ever, but been around for decades. So eventually, people gonna start catching on to what can be done and what can't be done. And you keep telling us what can't be
Hmm.
done. And a wise person is we got Google, we got LinkedIn, we got all these places where you could get information from. And everybody's ignorant because they're getting the information. We learning the same information that you went to school for. We not may not be able to actually build a game, but we know what can and what can't be done. All you gotta
Hmm.
do is type into Google and ask them what can they use to get the graphics for people that's dead or no longer here or too old to be. It'll give you all the different things, not motion capture, because if they're dead, they can't do their own motion capture unless it's an actor. But they got things called AI. What is it called? AI something. It watches videos and it gets the movements and put it on to a what's that? The frame of a character. So all the excuses they keep giving, the technology is too advanced. It's called AI remembrance or something. And it gives like everything that we always say we want, they got it. And somebody was arguing with me in a Discord, said, no, no, they can't do it. If they could do it, they'll do it. No, they're not going to do it. If they could get free money doing nothing, they're going to do it. They're not that honest. Let me see.
Hmm.
We can build a game. There's tutorials all over YouTube for anything you want. Discord with people to help. They better stop playing around. The mods. People are going for undisputed or excellent. The community will take them out. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, it's too many tutorials and stuff. That's why I be getting mad at people when they saying you don't know. You can't say what they're not trying to do or what they. Yes, I can. What you just told me, like the tutorials and all that. Yeah, I know, cause the guy that made that boxing game, he was doing tutorial. The one with the yellow character, I forget the name of it. He was working on a boxing game for about 2 or 3 years. He made his own boxing game. It's arcadey, but he made it from scratch. It's just that he was using what his he liked, but like a person like me, I could use what he liked and I could change it to fit what I want it to be. So people got to stop saying what can't be done. I didn't finish high school.
Mhm.
If I can figure it out, anybody can. Facts. Facts. That's true. I'm just like, yeah, I just want to see what next week gonna look like. Like I was telling boxing, I just want to see what next week gonna look like because
Mhm.
are they going or are they gonna keep that energy that was there when Steve's was there, or are they gonna go back into hiding, not saying anything? And my thing is,
I think
they get mad at me. What'd you say?
I think we might know the answer, Pro, and it's not the answer we want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. And my thing, the mods are quieter than what I was when I was helping EA. I was more interactive and more outspoken in the EA forums. That's what a lot of people remember. It's like, I remember you. You know, I even got a side group, like some of the people that I don't know why they don't talk on the Instagram. I'm like, Dad, gone. I made this Instagram for what? Y'all trying to let me know y'all still breathing or something? They don't say nothing really. I be inviting them on shows and everything. It's a lot of guys that they were very outspoken. It's like fight night silenced them. Like they like can't say nothing now. I'm like, Dad, do y'all
Mhm.
remember how proactive we were on the fight night forums? One of them is his name Mac Mittens. He used to make a lot of videos. To me, he was the first one doing reaction videos. And he used to make a lot of videos about fight night. He's like sound. And one of the guys, he helped me write out the wish list. I put all the ideas and stuff. I was like went online. I was going to every forum. Like some of the boxing forums had arcade areas where people had wish lists and ideas for a boxing video game. So I was telling them I was taking their ideas and putting it on a wish list. And some of their ideas I was fine tuning them. But we had a big list and he put it together. I was like, Dad, I had a good crew of people. Cause my thing was I was good at bringing people together to make things make the developers listen to us. And like I
Mhm.
keep saying, I had it so that even the developers was cheerleading me to do because they said, Poe, you keep doing what you're doing, you'll make the people above us listen. They said, because a lot of things that we don't do is because we got people over us telling us, no, that's too expensive. No, that's going to, take up resources or no, we don't think it's going to work. Like when I kept telling them, the story about I was telling them about we need more slots for the creative characters because they're going to give us just 50. And I got them to boost it up to
Mhm.
100. But I was like 50 creative characters. I said I'm gonna fill that up in a day and be looking for more. He said we can't add more. Did my research, asked around. Then I said, nah, you can put 100 or more in there. He said, all right, I'll give you 100. And they did it. That's why I said it's up to the community. If you push hard enough,
Mhm.
the developers literally have to listen. Like the guy
Yeah.
in the Discord was saying, no, you're gonna be mean and rude and stuff like that. All you gotta do is give feedback. Man, we gave you new to the Discord. We were giving feedback. I've been giving a lot, literally a lot of feedback. So it's been 5 years of feedback, and it makes no sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, Dad, I've been on. You came in to tell them, but I'm glad you came. I've been on almost
Yeah.
2 hours now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just decided to
glad
pop
Leafy
around.
showed up. Oh, Boxer said, "How's your game going, Leafy?"
The game's going good. Sorry. It's going good. I did some testing with Reaper, the guy in the Discord. He gave me some feedback on the footwork, how to make it more realistic. The only thing I disagreed about was the pivot system. He said like that's really not needed, but he said he didn't mind it that much since he knows I'm going for a really realistic game. So that was his only complaint, or like thing like he really disliked. So definitely gotta work on the game a bit more to make it more boxing like. I said the head movement was like the better thing of the game. It's still very early, so there's not a lot to glamour about, but it's still a work in progress, and it's gonna keep evolving as I go, and hopefully
Yeah.
it comes out. I don't know, 2027, 2028. I don't know. I don't want to be in college doing it, but at the same time, I'm probably gonna be doing it during my college studies. So
Yeah. As
it's
long
gonna
as you
take
get
some time.
Yeah, as long as you get a model out, you can get people that'll be more interested in helping you with your game. Even you might be able to get team members to help you.
Yeah, I
Just when
kind
you
of want to
get people
hire people. I kind of want to hire people
boxes that
now,
keep
but
up. Yeah, not yet. Boxes said keep up the good work, bro.
thank you, Boxing.
You sure you can't see the chat?
No, well, I pulled it up on like my web browser, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
now I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I'm about to close. I mean, I'm about to end the show because it's my two. It's like went way past my time limit. But I'm glad you came through. I was talking junk about you. Not really, but I was saying, Dad,
Wait,
Leaf ain't
what?
show up.
What? What? You were
No,
talking smack?
I'll just say Leaf.
No, you were talking
No,
smack.
not really. I was just saying Leaf ain't come through to support me. But you showed up. Seemed like you heard me.
I showed up. I had
You
some stuff
sure
in the back
did.
of my mind. I was like, I was probably talking smack. I gotta show up. I gotta show up last minute.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you and Boxing Afanato for coming in. Um, yeah, I'm about to end the show. Um, this has been Poe speaking his mind. If you believe in a real boxing game, if you want depth, realism, and respect for the sport, make your voice heard. Share this podcast. Support real development. Stop letting studios bait us with promises and deliver us shortcuts. Subscribe, follow, and leave your thoughts in the comments and review section. Let's keep the pressure on because boxing deserves better. Salute
I agree.
Leafy and salute boxing for coming through. And shout out to everyone that listened to this show. And I need you to please share it. And if, to all the developers that I heard listen to my show, could you please give me a message that you want to come on my show? Because I want to hear y'all take on certain things. It'll be a great, thing for fans to hear. But until the next time, I'm out. Peace.
See you, Poe. Have a good day.
All right, see you. All right, you too. All right, Box Fernando. See you later.